The sky above was dark red, like a wound in the universe. The planet was quiet, but not peaceful. It was the kind of quiet that comes before something terrible happens. A loud, sharp sound broke the silence. A spaceship, torn and burning, crashed into the desert sand like a falling star. The ground shook. Fire and smoke filled the air. Inside the broken ship, a girl moved. Her name was Lena. She was young, maybe 23, but her eyes looked older. They were full of fear, but also fire. Her suit was torn, and blood ran down her forehead. Sparks flew above her as she crawled out of the ship, coughing and gasping for air. Her first steps were weak. The sand was hot, the sun burning. She looked around, nothing but red rock, strange cactus-like plants, and silence. Then a noise. Crunch. She froze. Something was walking nearby. Lena turned quickly and picked up a metal rod from the wreckage. She held it like a weapon, her hands shaking. A shadow moved across the rocks. Fast. Silent. Suddenly. From behind a rock, a creature jumped out. Tall, thin, with sharp legs and glowing eyes. It screamed. Lena screamed back and ran. She didn't get far. Her legs were too weak. The creature chased her, fast and hungry. But before it could reach her, a blast of blue light hit it from the side. Boom. The alien flew back, its body smoking. Someone else was there. Lena turned to see a man holding a strange weapon. He was breathing hard, leaning against a rock. His face was half covered by a helmet, but blood poured from a deep wound in his stomach. He saved her. And now he was dying. She ran to him. "Hey, stay awake," she shouted. His eyes opened slowly. They were not fully human more, like silver mirrors. But they looked at her with kindness. He. "Human?" he asked, voice weak. "Yes," she said. "And you?" He gave a broken smile. Then he passed out. Lena's heart pounded. She looked around. The creature was dead. The sun was going down. She had no medical kit, no clean tools, and no idea what kind of infection he might have. But the wound was bad, deep, and bleeding fast. She dragged him into a nearby cave. It was dark, cool, and hidden. She needed to close the wound. Fast. Lena searched her bag. Nothing useful. She looked around the cave. Just rocks, sand, and strange green plants. Wait. One of the cactus plants had long, sharp thorns, strong like needles. She had an idea. A crazy, painful idea. She pulled out her knife and broke off several cactus thorns. Then she pulled her hair back and started to cut. Long strands fell to the ground. She tied the hair into threads. Her hands shaking, the man groaned in pain, still unconscious. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "But this is going to hurt you more than..." "It hurts me." She heated the thorns in fire, making them glow. Then, slowly, she began to stitch the wound, using her hair as thread and cactus thorns as a needle. The skin pulled. Blood oozed. But she kept going. Tears ran down her face, but her hands did not stop. Every time the thorn went in, her heart ached, but she told herself, "He saved me. Now I save him." Minutes passed like hours. Finally she finished. The bleeding had slowed. His breathing was better. He was still alive. Lena sat back, her hands red with blood. She looked at the man's face, now peaceful. Maybe he would live. Maybe not, but she did everything she could. She leaned back against the cave wall. Exhausted. Outside, the wind howled. But inside the cave, for now, there was quiet. Until click. Click. Lena sat up straight. That sound clicking, like bones tapping together. It came from outside the cave. She grabbed her metal rod again and listened. Click, click, click. Something else was out there. Something hunting, and it knew she was inside. Asterisk. She never trained to be a doctor. But in that cave, with blood on her hands and fear in her chest, she became one. The cave smelled like fire, sweat, and blood. Lena sat in the shadows, her hands trembling. The man lay in front of her, half human, half something else. His skin was pale, his wound deep. Her stitches made of her own hair and Cactus Thorns looked rough, almost cruel, but the bleeding had stopped. Her heart was still racing. Her arms burned from dragging him, from holding him down, from pushing a thorn through living flesh. She never wanted to do this. She never thought she could, but he saved her life. She owed him a chance at his dot. The firelight danced on the cave walls. Outside, the clicking noise had stopped for now. She leaned closer and checked his breathing. Slow, but steady. Still alive, Dot. Then she heard it. A small sound. A breath. The man opened his eyes. Lena gasped. Stepped back, ready to defend herself. Again. But he didn't move to attack. His silver eyes were cloudy, weak. He tried to speak, but only a broken whisper came out. You stitched me with hair? Lena blinked. She couldn't tell if he was joking, confused, or dying. It's all I had. She said. His lips twitched, a tiny smile. Smart. He tried to sit up. Bad idea. Stop, Lena said firmly. You'll tear it open. The man coughed, winced, and laid back down. Name. Yours? Lena? A pause. He looked at her again. Mine. Kale. She nodded. Okay, Kale, now shut up and don't die. He chuckled, then groaned in pain. His voice was hoarse, but full of something familiar humor. Even now, that scared her more than the silence. She stood and walked toward the cave entrance. Peered out. Still no sign of the clicking creatures. The wind blew dust across the red sand. The shipwreckage was still burning in the distance. She turned back. What were those things? Why were they chasing you? Kale didn't answer right away. He stared at the ceiling like it held the stars. They're called trackers, he said slowly. They follow heat, blood, and tech. You crash here, they smell it. She frowned. So they weren't chasing you? A beat. They were. But not only me. Lena's stomach dropped. What do you mean? He looked at her. A deep look. Like he was seeing something behind her skin. They want something inside you. He whispered. Something you don't know you have. She shook her head. I'm just a cargo pilot. I don't have anything. Kale closed his eyes. You do? And that's why they'll keep coming. Lena stepped back, cold fear wrapping around her chest. No, I crashed by accident. Kale's voice was barely a whisper now. No crash is an accident here. The fire popped a dot outside. The wind rose. Again, dot, and then click, click, click. They were back. Lena grabbed her rod. Kale tried to sit up. Trap them. With heat. Fire draws them. Lena didn't have time to argue. She grabbed the burning stick from the fire, ran to the cave mouth, and threw it far into the sand. For a second. Nothing. Then she saw them. 4 shadows sprinted toward the fire in the distance. Clicking louder and louder, Kale collapsed again. Sweating. Smart, he murmured. Lena knelt beside him. We can't stay here. They'll find us again. He nodded weakly. There's a bunker. 2 clicks east. I have coordinates. Can you walk? Can try. She helped him up. Slowly, carefully, he leaned on her shoulder. Each step left blood behind, but they walked into the cold. Red night. Each click behind them meant danger. Each step forward was survival. Lena didn't know where this planet was. She didn't know why they wanted her, but she knew one thing now. This wasn't just about escaping. This was war, and she was not going down easy. Asterisk. Some creatures hunt for food. Others hunt for silence. But bees. They hunted for what was hidden in her blood. The night was not silent. It listened. Lena moved slowly across the cracked desert floor, supporting Kale's half-conscious body on her shoulder. His weight was heavy, but the silence behind them was heavier. Every few seconds. She turned her head back, expecting to see shadows chasing them. None came, but the fear didn't leave. Kale's breathing was shallow. Sweat covered his brow. Cactus hair stitches were holding, but not forever. We're close, he whispered. There's a cave. Not just a cave. It sees things. Lena frowned. You're delirious. No, it's a memory vault. From before. Before what? She wanted to ask. But there was no time. A sharp wind howled. Dust stung her face. She spotted a narrow crack in a cliff, ahead barely visible. They reached it. Just before Kale collapsed, Lena dragged him in. The space opened wider as they entered. A strange metallic scent filled the air. The walls were not made of rock. They pulsed faintly, like they were alive. Then she saw them. Eyes. Dozens of them, not attached to bodies. Just orbs, floating in the air, glowing, watching. They didn't blink. Lena stepped back. What is this place? She whispered. Kale coughed, then spoke. An archive. They don't record voices. They record truth. Suddenly, one of the floating eyes zoomed in front of Lena. She froze. The light scanned her face, then it began to project. Light spilled across the cave wall, and she saw it. Herself. A memory. She was 8 years old, running through a forest on Earth, laughing, tripping, bleeding from her knee. Her mother picked her. You heal fast, her mother said. Stronger than you know. Then the memory faded. Lena stepped back, stunned. That was real, she whispered. Kale nodded. They've been watching you since you were a child. Why? Who are they? Kale's voice dropped. The collectors? They steal what makes life special. Culture, DNA, memories. Humanity was just another experiment. Lena's throat tightened. What do they want from me? Kale looked at her, eyes full of something deeper than fear. They want what's inside your blood. You were born from a rare line. Your genes can resist their control. You're not supposed to exist. A sound broke the moment. Click. Then another. Click dash. Click. Lena turned. One of the floating eyes turned black. Then it dropped to the floor, shattered. They're here, she said. Kale tried to sit up, pain twisting his face. The trackers. They followed the heat again. Lena looked around. Just this strange tech and the memory eyes. She grabbed one of the glowing orbs. It was warm, buzzing with data. She had an idea. She smashed it against the floor. It flashed and projected another memory. A bright city, alien, massive, strange machines flying. But the trackers stopped. They looked at the projection, confused, almost afraid. They remember, Kale said. Use it again. Lena grabbed another orb. Threw it. Another vision. Earth burning, cities destroyed. Humans fighting back. The trackers stepped back. One of them screeched and ran. Kale smiled weakly. They fear what we were, what we could be again. Lena looked at him. Then at her hands. I'm not just cargo, she whispered. I'm the weapon. Kale nodded. And now they know you know. Outside, more clicks began. Too many. Lena knelt by Kale. Can you walk? He shook his head. Then we hold them off. Together. She stood, holding two glowing memory orbs like grenades. As the first shadow entered the cave. She smiled. Come see what you're afraid of. Asterisk. She thought she was just surviving. But her blood carried a war older than Earth. The orb in her hand pulsed like a heartbeat. Lena stood at the mouth of the memory vault. Breath heavy, hair wild, eyes sharp. The last of the trackers had run scared. Confused by the old memories she unleashed. But Kale wasn't smiling. He was staring at her arm. It was glowing. Not with fire, with code, blue lines. Then his veins ran up her skin and pulsed softly. Alive. What is this? She whispered. Kale's voice was slow, serious. It's waking up. He reached for the glowing mark. You're activating. Because the archive scanned you. It recognized something hidden inside you since birth. Lena backed. Away. No, this isn't right. I'm human. Kale looked at her, carefully. Yes, that's exactly why it matters. He struggled to sit up, pointing deeper into the vault. There's one last chamber. They called it the seed room. That's where we'll find answers. Or death. They moved through the vault's winding halls, Kale limping, Lena supporting him. The air grew colder. Metallic veins ran through the stone. Symbols glowed faintly, lighting their path. Then they reached it. A door massive, black and smooth like glass. No handles. No panels. Just a circular mark in the center. It matched the pattern glowing on Lena's arm. Kale looked at her. It's waiting for you. She placed her hand on the mark. The door opened without a sound. Inside was silence. And a machine. It was shaped like a tree, but metallic. Ancient, pulsing with slow energy. Thousands of tiny lights blinked along its branches. Beneath it, a platform floating slightly above the ground. In its center, a small cube, glowing. Kale whispered, "That's it." The human code. Lena stared. "What is it?" He limped forward, eyes full of something between wonder and terror. A key. Or a virus. Depends who uses it. He turned to her. "You weren't born by chance. You're part of a long experiment. Earth wasn't just attacked, it was studied. Your blood is the only one that can activate this device." Lena's voice trembled. "What happens if I take it?" Kale hesitated. "Either humanity rises again, or you burn." The tree machine responded to her presence. A low hum filled the room. The cube lifted slightly. And Lena saw something flash before her eyes. A vision. Earth dash. Bombed. Broken. Cities gone. But humans still fighting. Still building. Still. Alive. Then another image. Her older, stronger. Leading people into battle with alien ships crashing behind her. She gasped and stepped back. What was that? "The truth," Kale said. "This machine doesn't just store code. It predicts. It saw who you could become." Lena's hands shook. She looked at the cube. She looked at Kale. Then, suddenly, the walls of the chamber shifted. The machine dimmed. Something was coming. "Trackers?" she asked. Kale's face darkened. "No. Worse." A voice echoed through the room, not spoken, but felt. "You are not authorized to touch the code." From the shadows, a figure emerged, tall, smooth, not alien. Not human, a collector. His face had no mouth. Its eyes glowed silver. "You are a genetic mistake," it said. "Return the seed." Kale pulled a small blade, barely able to hold it. "Run." Lena stepped forward instead. "No," she said. "I just learned who I am." She reached out slowly and touched the cube. The entire chamber exploded with light. Kale screamed. The collector shrieked. And Lena. Lena stood still. Her eyes glowing. The cube had bonded to her palm, melted into her skin. She heard voices in her head. Not one, but many. Human memories. Battles, laughter, love, pain, everything that ever made humanity human, and she was holding it. She was it. Kale fell to the floor. Stunned. The collector roared, stepping forward, but Lena raised her hand, and the machine answered her. A burst of blue light shot out. The collector vanished. Erased. Silence returned. Lena fell to her knees, breathing hard. Kale crawled beside her. "It's in you now," he whispered. "You're not just carrying humanity's future. You are the future." She looked up at him, eyes burning bright. "Then let's stop running." Asterisk, before she knew who she was. The machine already remembered. Lena didn't sleep that night. She couldn't. Every time she closed her eyes, she saw lives that weren't hers, faces, names, childhood's memories flooding through her veins like electricity. People she'd never met, moments she never lived, but somehow she remembered them. Kale sat nearby, watching her with quiet awe and quiet fear. "You accessed the code," he said. "Now it's showing you everything it's ever stored." Lena looked at her palm. The cube was gone, absorbed into her skin. But blue lines still glowed beneath the surface like threads of light. "I feel like I'm breaking," she whispered. "But also ... like I was always meant to break." Kale didn't answer. He didn't need to. They left the vault at dawn. The desert wind was cold now. The trackers were gone. For now, but something else called to them, something even Kale didn't. "Understand? The machine," he said, pointing toward a distant mountain covered in white mist. "The core of their network. If the seed's inside you, it'll want to talk to you." Lena raised an eyebrow. "You mean like a friendly chat?" He gave a dry smile. "More like Judgment Day." The journey took hours. The mountain path was steep, sharp, and strange. Black trees grew sideways. The wind whispered things in a language Lena didn't know, but somehow understood Dot as they reached the summit. She saw it, not a machine, a temple, but it was humming with power. Glowing, veins ran through its walls like blood. At the center stood a circular platform surrounded by floating mirrors. Kale stopped at the edge. I can't go further. It'll only open to you. Lena stepped forward, one hand on her chest. Dot as she reached the platform. The mirrors turned to her. Dot, and one by one, they showed her herself, but not just her. Her as a child. Her in battle. Her. Dead on a battlefield. Dot her. Old and alone. Dot each mirror showed a different path. Then the voice returned. Cold. Mechanical. Timeless. You carry the seed. You are not authorized. You are unpredictable. Lena stepped into the circle. Then predict me. Silence. Then a low pulse. The mirror's flash showing. Earth. Real dash time. Dot. Still alive. Still struggling. Dot. Lena saw cities trying to rebuild. People fighting alien drones. Children hiding underground. Fires in the sky. She fell to her knees. I didn't know. She whispered. They're still holding on. The voice responded. Humanity is statistically doomed. But hope... is an anomaly. Suddenly, the platform shifted. A door opened beneath it. Lena dropped down, falling into light. She landed in a room made of stars. Or at least, that's what it looked like. Points of light floated around her. Each one a memory file. A massive ichor stood ahead, alien in shape, but almost human in its sorrow. Welcome to the archive, it said. We've been watching you for 1,209 years. Lena's voice shook. Why? Because you are a result we did not expect. A survival code hidden skin, mind, and blood. The AI showed her flashes, her mother, injecting something into her as a baby, her father arguing with strangers in white coats, her DNA marked with a sequence labeled of Y013. What is a Y? She asked. Dot. The AI paused. Humanity. Fighting. Yet. You are the 13th and final test. Lena stared in silence. All her life she'd just wanted peace. Now she was a weapon made from pain. And Earth was dying, waiting for her to decide. Then the AI asked one question. Will you share the seed? Kale's voice echoed in her mind. You're the future. Lena looked at her hand. Then nodded. Double quotes, yes. The lights exploded around her. The seed began to upload. To Earth. To satellites. To hidden labs. The machine hummed louder. Earth's last hope was now in motion. But so were the collectors. Far above, in orbit. Hundreds of ships activated. And one of them whispered through space. She has chosen. Eliminate her. Hope was never meant to survive this long, but she did. And that made her dangerous. Above the crimson sky, the stars blinked out one by one, not because of clouds, because collector warships were arriving. Thousands of them. Their black holes blocked out the sun. The sky turned darker than night. The air itself grew colder, heavier. Lena stood at the mountain's edge, staring up at the ships. Behind her. The archive hummed softly, its upload nearly complete. The seed was spreading, waking old human satellites, sending blueprints, code, resistance data. Earth was listening, but the collectors had heard, too. Kale limped to her side. They're coming for you. Lena didn't flinch. Let them. Kale looked at like he was seeing something impossible. Not a girl, not a pilot, but a flame. The ground began to shake. A deep, distant thunder rolled across the land. In the distance, figures appeared. Not trackers. Worse. Puppets. Humans. Altered. Controlled. Wired with alien tech. Their eyes glowing white. Their bodies moving imperfect. Dead silence. Former survivors. Now weapons. Lena's stomach turned. They're using our own against us. Kale pulled a hidden blaster from under his jacket and tossed it to her. Then take them back. She caught it and ran toward the battlefield. The wind screamed as collector ships began to descend, dropping cables. Drones, Max. Lena darted. through burning trees and shattered ground, her boots kicking up red dust. Her mind wasn't racing, it was clear. She wasn't saving just herself now. She was defending the seed, defending Earth, defending the right to fight back. They reached an old outpost long abandoned, half buried in sand. Alien vines had grown over its steel bones. This place was a resistance bunker once, Kale said, coughing. We might still find weapons inside. Lena kicked open the hatch. Inside dash darkness. Then flickering lights. The system woke up. Her presence. Unlocked. Everything. Guns. Power cells. A prototype mech suit, small, scorched, but still functional. Kale smiled weakly. That belongs to you now. Lena suited up. The armor clamped onto her chest, her legs, her arms. Blue lights lit under her skin, syncing with the seed. Suddenly, her HUD blinked. A voice inside the helmet spoke. Welcome, Pilot 013. Combat. Mode. Humanity protocol activated. Lena grinned. I've always wanted to press the red button. Then they came. The first wave hit hard. Drones buzzed overhead. Puppets charged like machines. Energy blasts lit up the sky. Lena moved faster. Then she thought possible. The suit read her thoughts. She didn't aim, she intended, and the weapon obeyed. Kale provided cover fire. Blood dripping down his side, eyes locked on her like she was the last miracle in the galaxy. One by one, the enemies fell, but so did time. The upload was still incomplete. And the collector ships were preparing their final weapon. A massive spike falling from orbit, not to kill her. To destroy the entire mountain. The archive and the seed with it. Kale screamed from the bunker. They're dropping it! Lena turned toward the sky. She saw it, a black spear falling. Like a god's fist. Time slowed. She ran. Straight up the hill. Toward the core of the archive. The wind fought her. Her own suit screamed with warnings. Impact in 30 seconds. Kale called after her. What are you doing? You'll die. Lena didn't stop. She reached the archive's heart, placed her palm on the panel, and pushed all the energy from the seed into the system. The entire mountain glowed blue. The machine responded not with resistance, but with recognition. Lena screamed, send it all. 10 seconds. The skies cracked. 0.5 seconds. Tears streamed down her face. Let them remember who we were. 1 second. A final flash. Silence. The mountain was gone. Ash floated in the wind. Kale stood, armor scorched, staring at the crater. No trace of Lena. No signal. No voice. Nothing. Ben. His communicator crackled. One word. Her voice. Weak, but alive. Did it send? Kale collapsed to his knees and laughed. Far across the stars on Earth. Sirens stopped. Screens lit up. A voice played across every surviving base, bunker, ship, and shelter. This is Lena. You're not alone. We are? Not finished. We are human. Astros, you can bury a body. You can silence a voice, but you can't kill a story once it starts to echo. It began with a whisper. Not in the cities. Not in the sky, but underground in Earth's ruins, where survivors huddled beside broken tech and flickering screens, just trying to last another night. The whisper said her name. Lena. Then a signal arrived. Simple. Steady. A voice. This is not the end. We are still here, and we remember who we are. Screens lit up across the planet. Old satellites, once thought dead, came online. New code flowed into Earth's broken systems. Blueprints, weapons, shield tech, anti-collector frequencies. Knowledge once stolen from Earth had returned through her. Lena's face, recorded from her final broadcast, now played in loops across every known bunker. Tired soldiers looked up. Children stared with wide eyes. And across the stars, someone whispered, humanity just woke up. 3 days later, orbit above Earth, the collectors watched from orbit, confused. Earth's atmosphere was reacting. Invisible shields formed above. Key locations. Old defense stations came online automated, awakened by the seed. One collector commander stared at the planet below. Unexpected reformation, it said. Human anomaly must be neutralized. Deploy phase sweep. But before the order could launch, a human ship appeared behind them. No stealth. No warning. It wasn't fast. It wasn't elegant, but it was loud. The name painted on its hull in fire black letters. Lena's Wrath. On board the Wrath, Kale stood in the command deck, half bandaged, half burning with purpose. He wore her symbol now, a glowing arc across his chest. Around him, dozens of humans. Once refugees, now resistance fighters. And behind them, a fleet. Junk. Ships, welded fighters, hacked drones, ancient Mars cargo haulers, every scrap humanity ever hid from the collectors now, weaponized. Kale raised his fist. They thought they erased her. He looked to the stars, but she gave us the blueprint. He slammed the command console. Let's make them bleed data. Earth, ground level. In the rubble of New Tokyo, an old mech roared to life. In Nairobi, school children loaded energy cells. Into RAILGUNs. In the Arctic, grandmothers in survival suits sang as they locked missiles onto collector scouts. And in New Brazil, and Ilong Dormant spoke to its creator's grandson. Human directive received. Initiating rage protocol. Above, the battle begins. The collector fleet launched first. Clean, cold, predictable. But the humans, they were chaos, exploding out of clouds, screaming with rage, laughter, grief, and music. Old war chants. Rock music. Radio chatter filled with inside jokes and war cries. They didn't just fight, they made noise, because that's what humans do when they're alive. Somewhere between Earth and stars. In a hidden layer of digital memory. Deep within the seed's code. Lena opened her eyes. Not fully flesh, not fully data. She existed between signals. Now alive in the network, breathing in memory. She watched her people fight and felt every heartbeat. She saw Kale charging through fire. She saw the collector ships falling one by one. She saw children screaming, Lena lives. As they launched missiles, she smiled. She didn't need a body anymore. She was the message. 1 hour later, the largest collector ship, the Harvester, from the sky. It hit the ocean like a dying god. The sea boiled, then went still. The war wasn't over, but it had turned. And for the first time in generations, humanity was not running. They were hunting back. Final scene, a new world months later. The earth is scarred but standing. Cities rebuilt from ruins. A statue of Lena stands at the center of the new global capital, carved from the wreckage of the first collector drone ever killed. Her face is calm. Her eyes are forward. Beneath it, 3 words are etched into stone. We are human.